Welcome back to our data analytics series. In today's video, we're going to delve into the basic functions and formulas that form the backbone of data analysis in Excel. Whether you're a beginner or looking to brush up your skills, mastering these functions will help you automate calculations, simplify complex tasks, and extract meaningful insights from your data. By the end of this video, you'll be comfortable using a variety of Excel functions that are essential for any data analyst. Let's get started. We will be looking at the following contents in this video. Excel is packed with a variety of functions that make data analysis efficient and powerful. Today, we'll focus on 5 key categories: logical functions, lookup functions, statistical functions, text functions, and date and time functions. Each category serves a unique purpose, helping you to evaluate conditions, search and retrieve data, summarize numerical information, manipulate text, and handle date and time data. Let's explore each of these in detail. Let's begin with logical functions, which are fundamental for making decisions within your data. The if function is one of the most versatile and widely used. It allows you to evaluate a condition and return one value if the condition is true and another if it's false. For instance, equals if A2 greater than 50, pass, fail, checks if the value in cell A2 is greater than 50. If it is, it returns pass. Otherwise, it returns fail. Moving on to and or functions. These allow you to evaluate multiple conditions simultaneously. The and function returns true only if all specified conditions are met, while the or function returns true if any one of the conditions is met. For example, equals and A2 greater than 50, B2 less than 100, will only return true if A2 is greater than 50 and B2 is less than 100. Conversely, equals or A2 greater than 50, B2 less than 100 will return true if either A2 is greater than 50 or B2 is less than 100. These logical functions are essential for data segmentation, conditional formatting, and decision-making processes in your analysis. Next, let's explore lookup functions, which are invaluable when dealing with large datasets. The VLOOKUP function stands for vertical lookup. It searches for a specific value in the first column of a table and returns a corresponding value from another column in the same row. For example, equals VLOOKUP, John, A2 to D100, 3, false, searches for John in the first column of the range A2, and returns the value from the third column of that row. On the other hand, HLOOKUP stands for horizontal lookup. It functions similarly to VLOOKUP, but searches for a value in the first row and returns a value from a specified row in the same column. For instance, equals HLOOKUP, sales, A1 to Z10, 5 false, looks for sales in the first row of the range A1, and returns the value from the fifth row in that column. These lookup functions are perfect for merging datasets, retrieving related information, and building dynamic reports where data relationships are key. When it comes to summarizing and analyzing numerical data, statistical functions are your go-to tools in Excel. Let's start with a sum function. The syntax is straightforward, equals sum range. For example, equals sum B2 to B100 adds up all the numbers from cell B2 to B100, giving you the total sales, expenses, or any other metric you're tracking. The average function calculates the mean of a range of numbers. Using equals average, B2 to B100, you can quickly determine the average value in your dataset, which is useful for understanding overall performance or central tendencies. The count function is used to count the number of cells that contain numeric values within a specified range. For instance, equals count B2 to B100 tells you how many cells in that range have numbers, which is helpful for data validation and ensuring the completeness of your dataset. Max and minimum functions are used to find the highest and lowest values in a range, respectively. Equals max, B2 to B100, will return the highest value, allowing you to identify peak performance or outliers, while equals minimum, B2 to B100, gives you the lowest value, useful for spotting the minimum thresholds or declines. These statistical functions are essential for data summarization, trend analysis, and performance tracking in your data analytics projects. In addition to numerical data, text functions are crucial for manipulating and analyzing text data in Excel. The concatenate function allows you to combine multiple text strings into one. For example, equals concatenate A2 space B2 can merge a first name in A2 and a last name in B2 with a space in between, creating a full name. The left and right functions are used to extract specific portions of text. Equals left A2 3 will give you the first 3 characters of the text in cell A2, while equals right A2 4 extracts the last 4 characters. These functions are particularly useful for formatting data, such as extracting area codes from phone numbers or abbreviating long text entries. The mid function provides even more flexibility by allowing you to extract a specified number of characters from any position within a text string. For instance, equals mid A2 2 5 extracts 5 characters starting from the second character in A2. This is helpful for parsing complex data formats or cleaning up imported text data. Mastering these text functions will enable you to clean, format, and transform textual data, making your datasets more consistent and easier to analyze. Handling date and time data is another critical aspect of data analysis. Excel offers several functions to work with dates and times effectively. The today function equals today returns the current date and updates automatically each day. This is useful for creating dynamic reports that always show the latest date. The now function equals now provides both the current date and time, updating in real time based on your system clock. This is particularly handy for timestamping data entries or creating live dashboards that reflect the current moment. The date function allows you to construct a specific date by specifying the year, month, and day. For example, equals date 2024 10/3 creates the date October 3rd, 2024. This can be useful for generating dates dynamically within your dataset. Finally, the dateDiff function calculates the difference between two dates in various units such as years, months, or days. For instance, equals dateDiff A2 B2 Y calculates the number of complete years between the dates in cells A2 and B2. This is essential for tasks like calculating employee tenure, project durations, or age from birth dates. These date and time functions help you to track time-based data, calculate durations, and automate time-related calculations, making your data analysis more robust and accurate. Now, let's put these functions into action with a practical example. We'll use a sales dataset to demonstrate how these basic Excel functions and formulas can streamline your data analysis process. Import the dataset. Start by importing a sales dataset into Excel. Navigate to the Data tab and select from Text or CSV to load your file. Once imported, you'll see your sales data organized in rows and columns. Apply Sum function. To calculate the total sales, select an empty cell and enter equals sum, C2 to C100, where C2 to C100 represents your sales figures. This function adds up all the values in that range, giving you the total revenue. Apply Average function. Next, to find the average sales value, use equals average, C2 to C100. This calculates the mean of your sales data, helping you understand the typical sales performance. Use if function. Let's categorize each sale as high or low based on a threshold. In a new column, enter equals if C2 greater than 1,000, high, low. This formula checks if the sales value in C2 is greater than 1,000. If true, it labels it as high. Otherwise, it labels it as low. Drag this formula down to apply it to all rows. Use concatenate function. If you have separate columns for first names and last names, you can combine them into a full name using equals concatenate, D2 space E2. This merges the first name in D2 and the last name in E2 with a space in between, creating a complete name. To make the most out of Excel's functions, here are some tips and best practices. Use absolute and relative references. Understanding the difference between relative and absolute references is crucial. Relative references change when you copy a formula to another cell, while absolute references remain constant. Use the $$ to create absolute references, like $A$1, to lock in specific cells when needed. Nest functions for complex calculations. Don't hesitate to nest functions within each other to perform more intricate calculations. For example, equals if A2 greater than 50, pass, if A2 greater than 30, average, fail. Nests an if function within another if function to categorize data into multiple levels. Keep formulas simple and readable. Strive to make your formulas as straightforward as possible. Break down complex formulas into smaller parts using helper columns, which can make them easier to debug and understand. Use named ranges for clarity. Assigning named ranges to your data can make your formulas more readable and easier to manage. Instead of referencing A2 to A100, name the range sales data and use equals sum sales data. Document your formulas. For complex spreadsheets, add comments or maintain separate documentation explaining what each formula does. This practice is especially helpful when you revisit the spreadsheet after some time or when collaborating with others. Implementing these best practices will enhance your efficiency, reduce errors, and make your Excel workbooks more maintainable and understandable. You've successfully navigated through the basic Excel functions and formulas essential for data analytics. From logical and lookup functions to statistical, text, and date functions, these tools empower you to manipulate, analyze, and summarize your data effectively. By applying these functions, you can automate tedious tasks, uncover patterns, and derive meaningful insights from your datasets. In the next video, we'll delve into data cleaning and pre-processing in Excel, where you'll learn techniques to prepare your data for analysis, ensuring accuracy and consistency. Stay tuned to continue building your Excel expertise and take your data analytics skills to the next level. Thanks for watching, and see you in the next video.